A complaint was given to me by one of the leading churches in this country with me that I should handle. How do I handle it? A senior pastor up there impregnated a girl down there. And when the pregnancy was coming out, the pastor decided to eliminate the girl and the pregnancy to cover evidence. And he's still preaching on Sunday. He's also the one that buried the girl. He's also the one that helped the parents to organize the funeral. And across the board, in Ilorin, I had to intervene in a matter in which a reverend father snatched the wife of his member. Father. And things that are happening today, which in our olden days will not be there. You find a general overseer has divorced his wife. And he's still the general overseer. And the church is full every Sunday. As if we have no Bible. There are certain things we have just decided to look away from. And taking the risk of continuing to run the kingdom affairs like that, risk because we will soon get to a place where you will be turned back. Because it's there in the Bible that whoever cannot run his house, cannot run the church, and you are running the church by force. So at the end of this, your church is not Jesus' church. A lot of churches I see around, they are not Jesus' churches. It's the pastor's church. Is it not scary that the World Council of Churches released papers about the state of the Nigerian church? And then, out of the 10 richest churches in the world, no Nigerian church is in the number. Restoration now. Last week, I was in Dublin. I was in Irish Republic of Ireland. And I went to preach in a Roman Catholic university that was built about 200 years ago. The Roman Catholic Church is the richest church in the world. The Pope has no private jet. Whenever the Pope wants to travel, in January, they make a list of his itinerary for the year. You are going to have to patiently listen to me and endure me. Because some of you are not going to be comfortable with some of the things I'm saying. Because some of you are preparing and praying and fasting so that you will soon buy a private jet as a man of God. Please go ahead and buy it. But listen, the richest church in the world is the Roman Catholic Church. I preached in a Roman Catholic university last week in Dublin. The Pope developed his itinerary for the year and give it to Alitalia, the Italian national carrier, that so month, the pontiff and his entourage will be going to Philippines. They'll be returning so date, carry them. So month, the Pope and the cardinals, they're going to the Caribbean. Take them and bring them back. The Alitalia has the itinerary and they run it as an airline. And when you Pentecostals come up with some of the stuff and the brandishing and the financial recklessness that you have put the tithes and offerings of the people into, and also recklessness in the use of power, both spiritual and otherwise, The Roman Catholic people are laughing. I live in Ilorin, I live among Muslims and I walk among them. It's easier to convert a Muslim than to convert a Roman Catholic. Roman Catholic will be looking at you and laughing. In Dublin, where I was last week, St. Patrick is all over the town, signboards and so on and so forth. St. Patrick is a Roman Catholic priest, and he ordered all the snakes in the Republic of Ireland to gather, and they gathered. And he ordered all of them to crawl into the sea, and they did. The Republic of Ireland is the only country in the world today that has no snake. A man of God crawled them into the sea, and he's a Roman Catholic. Mommy and I were passing through Paris on Monday, and Mommy pointed to the wall and said, "See the picture of Father Dennis." Father Dennis. Father Dennis was a Roman Catholic clergyman, and he used to come to preach in a square in Paris, dressed in his cassock. And one man walked up to him and said, "Don't come here to preach again. We don't want to see you around here. Don't come and talk about Bible here." And Father Dennis will not hear. The last time Father Dennis preached in the square in Paris, the man arrived with a knife and was sitting to one side of the square and sharpening his knife while Father Dennis was preaching. The noise of the sharpener will attract Father Dennis all the time, so he takes a glance at him. And the man also take a glance at him. "You will soon hear from me." And then he will be sharpening. And when he was done with the sharpening, he sharpened it so sharply, but he didn't want to throw the knife twice. So he went to Father Dennis and told him, "We've told you not to come here to preach, you refuse." Wham! One swing. Father Dennis' head dropped down. And Father Dennis himself picked his head in his hands. And the head continued to preach. And the head was saying, "I have not finished talking." The man put his knife down and ran away. And Father Dennis carried his head in his hands and trekked for miles. And his head was still preaching in his hand, until blood finished in the body of Father Dennis and he collapsed and died with his head in his hand. You go to Paris today, you ask of the blood street. The blood street is that street where the blood of Father Dennis stained the whole road till he died. And where he died, the Roman Catholic people went and built a cathedral there and put a sculpture of Father Dennis in front of that cathedral with his head in his hands. So when you Pentecostals are talking about signs and wonders, the Roman Catholic people are laughing. And so much has been, and is that not the same Roman Catholic today that churning out millions of dollars to pacify abused members? This house is collapsing. And there is the need for God to raise people to address the body. Sometimes rehabilitation, restructuring, repairs can be very costly. To return us to a former state, to ask that the house be put in a rehabilitation. Get workers to remove the roofing sheet that is leaking and put another one. Strengthen the pillars and so on and so forth. It's a great work.